Have you ever tried quitting? If even once you said, damn, it would be nice to stop, then there is something about smoking or vaping that doesn't make you happy. You may not know what it is yet, but you know that your well-being and your happiness would improve if you were to become a non-addict. But how do you do it? Is there a way to quit easily, painlessly, and permanently? Alright, I'll tell you. Just please, put the gun away, damn. It's a book. See, that's why people should start reading more, and it would be really nice to learn someday. In today's video, I wanted to give you a full guide on how to stop, but I really couldn't put that in a 15-minute video, and neither could I make a 2-hour video, because the pressure was just killing me and I wasn't doing anything. So, let's just explore this topic a little bit more. And at the end, I will give you a perfect solution to a problem that you probably thought didn't have a solution. Around 75% of smokers, if offered an easy way out, would choose to do it. Quit painlessly, easily, and permanently tomorrow. 75% of those people say yes. Other 10-15% said that they have some thoughts about quitting, and only 12% of smokers said that they have no desire to quit. I dare you. Go to your local basketball court and ask if the people who are playing basketball would like to quit. Well, how do we actually stop? Just stop. No, I'm obviously kidding. Just do it. Doesn't work. Same as scaring the shit out of you with smoking horror stories doesn't work to help you quit. There is a photo of some disgusting shit on literally every packet, and that really doesn't deter a smoker from smoking. Fear of what smoking is doing to you cannot be used to make you stop. We will talk about fear in a moment, but for now, let's answer this really simple but important question. Why do you smoke? Pleasure? Where? Relaxation? Smoking increases your blood pressure. There are so many excuses that addicts give to themselves to not be called addicts and to be able to keep smoking those cigarettes. Let's look at some of my favorite ones. I love the ritual. Then why do you smoke this specific plant that contains an addictive drug in it? Why don't you just smoke any herbs and any herbal cigarettes if that's the point of your smoking? They give me confidence. Cigarettes take away your confidence when you're not smoking, so that when you actually light up, you feel this marvelous confidence flooding back in. It's a negative feedback loop. It's just like wearing shoes that are one size smaller than they should be, and then experiencing the wonderful pleasure of taking them off. Would you? Would you wear shoes that make your feet hurt for the marvelous relief of taking these shoes off? Or wouldn't you wear these shoes in the first place? And now to my favorite excuse. It's only a habit. Frequent and subconscious repetition are present in both habits and addiction, but they are not interchangeable terms. They're completely different. Imagine this: you have chocolate-covered strawberries in a cafe near your office every day that you come to work. Yes, it's such a fancy cafe that they have a big chocolate fountain and they serve chocolate-covered strawberries. You don't even think about it. After you park your car, you go straight into the cafe. But this time, on this Friday morning, you walk in and you see that the owner is bathing himself, and obviously his family, in the chocolate that he is going to serve you. And then you discover that every day for the last couple of years, he has been disturbing the sterility of the chocolate fountain by rubbing the chocolate into his wife's armpits. You would be pissed, furious even. You may even sue him. Would you come to his place ever again? Would you have a problem of breaking this habit of walking in the same cafe and sitting at the same table you've been sitting at for years? Would you have a problem of walking 100 meters extra for the next cafe and sitting there? Would you have a problem with not having chocolate-covered strawberries before work every day for an undetermined amount of time? Habits are easy to break as long as you want to break them. Addiction can be difficult to break, and I say can because if you listen to some of these idiots that are saying that you have to resist temptation and overcome withdrawal, you will fail, and you probably will fail for years with this method. You eliminate temptation altogether, so that there is nothing you have to overcome or resist. The only way not to just stop, but to stay stopped, is to achieve a frame of mind in which every time you think about smoking, you feel a genuine sense of relief and a genuine sense of joy that you don't have to do it anymore. This is what this book will do for you. as it did for millions of people, if you read it and follow all the instructions. This video is not sponsored by anyone. If you want to help the channel, just subscribe. If you go to a doctor and tell him, man, please, I don't want to die, just help me quit, he will probably give you some NRT bullshit that will cost you $50 a month and will only work in like 10% of cases. Look, addictions work in a tricky way. Before ever taking the drug, you were in homeostasis, you were complete. Then you took the drug. You may even have felt slightly better, but since addictive drugs have a withdrawal. Then you took the drug. You may have even felt slightly better, but since addictive drugs have a withdrawal curse to them, you, after a while, experience some uptight feeling, anxious feeling, something that told you that you were not exactly complete. You probably didn't register this feeling, but you still smoked your second cigarette, and then your third, and your fourth. And by the time you arrived to the 10th cigarette, your brain has registered feeling bad, smoke, feel good. So now you jump for cigarettes every time you feel bad. Even if it doesn't have anything to do with withdrawal, your brain associates bad, smoking, and feeling good. And if you become a chain smoker, you will still be craving cigarettes while you will be smoking. Rats build tolerance to rat poison. Humans build tolerance to drugs. So if at the beginning you needed 3 milligrams to feel normal, now you need 10 milligrams. And since 10 milligrams of nicotine would make anyone feel dizzy and lethargic, you smoke and feel dizzy and lethargic. Look, there is something different between all addictions, but one thing is common: there's still an addiction. Would you say that a heroin addict has a choice of taking heroin? Would you say that he actively decides to take heroin? Can you see that a heroin addict injects a strange substance into their bloodstream just to get the heroin and to satisfy their addiction? People can easily understand that, but they have trouble seeing nicotine addiction for what it is, an addiction. They think that the smokers enjoy smoking for its own sake. They enjoy the process of smoking, whereas the heroin addict certainly doesn't enjoy injecting themselves, right? Neither do smokers. It's just an illusion. Look, I will read you this part of this very interesting but very sad book called We, the Children of the Bahnhofzoo. It's a book about a 13-year-old girl who lives in Berlin in the 70s, and for one reason or another she becomes a full-on heroin addict at the age of 13. This is how she describes one of her mornings. At midday, my mother woke me up and brought me some breakfast in bed. When I was at home on Sundays and not at Detlef's, my mother would always bring me food to bed. I swallowed down a couple of bites. I couldn't get anything down anymore except yogurt and puddings. Everything was too indifferent to me to do any thinking when, with my plastic bag in my hand, I passed my mother on my way to the bathroom. In the bathroom, I locked the door. In our family, no one ever locked the door. I stood in front of the mirror and prepared my shot. I was especially excited about the shot because it had powder M. It is a special kind of H. It takes terribly to the heart and you have to be very careful with the dosage. If one shoots too much, he's done. I think you know where this is going, but this is her habit. The habit of shooting H in the bathroom with her mother in the other room. She can probably do this process automatically and she doesn't even think about it. Would you believe her if she were to tell you that the only reason for which she can't quit heroin is because she cannot imagine her morning routine without her morning shot? And then why do we listen to smokers who tell us that they can't imagine their morning routine without a cigarette? Can't you understand that the two things are the same? The morning routine of smoking a cigarette is just a necessary act to get nicotine into the bloodstream. Nothing more, nothing less. Many people think that quitting requires overcoming withdrawal symptoms. That is complete bullshit as well. If withdrawal was the thing that was forcing you to smoke, then overcoming it for more than a week or so would mean that you would have 0% chance of relapsing again. But then why do we see people craving cigarettes years or maybe months after quitting smoking? The big monster is the smoker's perception of smoking. It's the thing that compels them to do it even though they know that that's not the best choice for them. It's that little thing that tells you that a sunrise wouldn't be enjoyable if you don't have your little paper tube filled with dry tobacco. That's the thing that tells them that a meal will not be enjoyable if they cannot smoke afterwards. And it's the same thing that tells them that they need nicotine to overcome a loss of a loved one. Many people focus just on the little monster when they're trying to quit, and they just hope that when the little monster dies, the big monster will just leave them alone. But that's never the case. And usually at a party, after weeks or months or even years when you have not smoked, you see that everyone around you is smoking and you feel deprived, you feel bad, and you start thinking about how this moment would be so much more marvelous if you just could have that single cigarette. Doesn't that describe an illusion? The big monster is the thing that ruins everything. With this method, you kill the big monster first and then have your last cigarette or whatever. So this ensures that you will never crave anything anymore, anytime in your life. Every addict feels fear when thinking about escaping from his addiction. Actually, two fears. One of them is real, one of them is an illusion. Can you guess which is which? The first one is the fear of failure. It's that thing that tells you how bad life will be if you will not be able to escape, if you will relapse, how you will die in your 40s from cancer and will never be able to see your grandchildren. This is what usually people use to motivate someone to quit. This shit doesn't work. The second one is the fear of success. How empty, pointless and difficult life will be if you can't smoke, if you cannot round a beautiful evening with a cigarette. These two fears are on the opposite ends of the tug of war which every addict feels. They think, oh, this shit is killing me, and then they think, how can I go without it? Once you see that the fear of success is just an illusion, that you will still enjoy walks, meals, sex, and everything else that there is to life without and regardless of the cigarette, you understand that there is nothing it is giving you, so when you're quitting, there is nothing you're giving up, because there is nothing that the cigarette brought to the table. At this point, quitting becomes incredibly easy and enjoyable. The painful withdrawal doesn't actually come from the nicotine leaving your body. It actually comes from a mental process that goes like this. I want a cigarette, I can't. The is the feeling that every smoker feels when they are trying to quit. The feeling of wanting something but not being able to have it. It's what makes them obsess about smoking, and eventually it's what makes them crack. Addiction is 1% physical and 99% mental. If you focus on the mental part first, then the physical part is barely noticeable. I know that this sounds too good to be true, but it really is that way. Just kill the big monster and walk for the rest of your life. Look, I'm sure that this method will work for 99% of addicts, but there are some more stubborn addicts that cannot understand the program with just words. They have to up the ante a little bit. A tattoo is a way of indelibly writing something on your body that you know being 100% true. This connects mind and body and locks your frame of mind around an axiom, an irrefutable grain of truth and stability. This makes it so much more easier to live because you can always come back to this truth and use it as support. For me, it worked for everything I was struggling with, and I'm sure that it will do the same for you. Hola, amigo. And who is profiting off of this? Well, isn't it obvious? These big tobacco companies are making billions while pushing the product that doesn't only take your money, but takes your health, your confidence, and sometimes your life. This book is called Easy Way to Quit Smoking by Alan Carr. It has already helped millions of people. You can either get this one or this one, but I would recommend you get the latter because it's more updated and newer. Again, I'm not making any money off of this. Get it on Audible for like $15. There may be a reason for which you haven't heard about this book. So guys, I need you to do something. I need you to like, subscribe, and comment something from 5 words and up to show the algorithm that this is a great video, that this will help people. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.